Welcome to my YouTube channel. What's up, guys? Last time we discussed what we are going to build an expense tracker. We discussed the architecture, the graph setup, and then we went ahead and set up the project along with defining some of the graph nodes as well. So today we will be building the walkers and a few of our utility functions that will be key to the successful implementation of the expense tracker. And yeah, so the walkers are basically the agents that will be navigating the graph, performing tasks. Yeah, so really exciting stuff coming up, and I can't wait to get started on that. So let's head over to Visual Studio right now. So let's start by initializing the graph for our walkers. Let's make it initialize graph with default user settings. User and settings. So okay, has username. We need a username as well. The string, yes, and user. We can create the graph. So this walker can create a graph, and we need to define root entry here. So root, we need to have this sign here. So this is the correct syntax. Root entry, because we are starting at the very beginning, first node. Okay, this does not look that good. Let me just erase this. Okay, so user here plus. Right. I'm going to go to the user node. So here is referring to root, and we are going to navigate to the user. And well, we can define maybe the name. Let me just change this to name instead of username, since it's more easier. Yeah, so let's enter name and name. It's a string. Set of dot username, and you can put created as well. Created at. Let's not use that format. Let's just use a custom function. Get current date time. So we can define this later on. No worries. And now we can put our settings node. Yeah, let me make a comment here first. So user, create user node, and now we are going to create a default settings node. Yes. So settings here, yeah, that looks okay. So this also we need to define our categories, category nodes for the default categories, right? Okay, and for cat in expense category here, so we need to actually cat node equals to user node, because we are connecting our categories to the user node, and then we are going to report. So let's put a message and maybe the user name, and maybe we can add the number of expenses. Not settings, let's add X categories created. Yeah, so each node, user node is connected to several categories, right? Right. Okay. Report is basically where we are, how we are defining the output of this walker. So let me add a comment here, walker to initialize the graph, and yeah. So now we can create another walker to add. Yeah, let's add a new expense. So walker, yeah, that looks fine. We might have to make some edits here. Currency needs to change. Let's make this a string, and it may be at a default USD value, default currency. Yeah. Okay. So we need to change this function name, add to category. That's better, I think. So otherwise it's too vague. So let's define properly, add to category with root entry. Yeah, then we need to actually visit the node. If this flow does not look that good, no, at least let's see. Add, not add, sorry, yeah, we need to navigate to the user node and visit. Syntax is this. Okay, we need to change that a bit. Yeah. Okay. Let me just remove all this code. Okay, what else? What's the next thing we need to do? Okay, so we have an expense. We need to check for existing category, right? We need to add to a matching category. So let me add that logic. We can't directly add the expense to the user node. We have to connect. We have to go to the category node and then add the expense. So can create expense with yeah, user entry. Okay, so we have to go to the user node, find the matching category node. Yes, that's right. And then target category also let's define this variable as none, because we need to find out which category matches to the expense. Okay, for cat in, yeah, so I traverse the graph. Okay, yeah, I think this is the correct syntax. Yes, need to change this up a bit as well. Question, sorry. Yeah, that's better. Okay, category if cat name so if you, our category is all in uppercase, so we need to make sure that is properly defined, and then we need to also take care of categories that are not identified. So if not target category, maybe the fallback should be to go to the other category, right? So we have a category defined as other. So yeah, default to other category in uppercase. And we need to add that logic into this function. So no, that's not correct. Target category, no, for cat in category. Yeah, that's all right. Okay. Next, we need to convert the amount to USD. So let's do that as well, because that's our default currency. And then we are going to create the expense. Yeah, expense date. Let's get the dates as well. So self date, we are going to get the current date. We can define that later. New expense. We need to add the new expenses to for each node, right? Target category. Yeah, that structure looks fine. Let's leave it like that. Report. That's also fine. Actually, you know what? No, you know what? That's fine. Yeah, I think that is all right for now for a basic structure. We can go ahead and create another Walker. This one maybe to Walker get dashboard data. So retrieving the data from the dashboard. Okay, let's, yeah, let me put a doc string here. Retrieve dashboard data indicating. Yeah, I think that's fine. You can go ahead with that. And yes, okay, can fetch data. Visit. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so it's visiting the user node. and then after we can visit the node, we can calculate the data. So we're getting the insights and everything. Let me just check this code. Can we use entry? Okay, we can modify this. So let's get the current month as well, since we normally check like monthly breakdowns, in general. So current month, okay, total expenses. Cat in category cat total. We can also put categorical uh, expenses and put a list so that we can track the expenses as well. Categories, so then we're going to sum the expenses for the current month. Let's filter it. Expense in category, so let's filter for the current month, and yeah, that looks good. That's fine. Let's remove that and add it here. Okay, it's an USD total. Let's get a total expense tracker as well. Have the total amount for a given month. Yeah, expense stop append. Yeah, just keep it like that. And yeah, let's put these fields. Amount, currency maybe not needed, right? We don't need to have the currency here. And amount in USD, no need since we already had the amount. That's fine. Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. Right, we'll have categorical breakdowns. Cat total. So yeah, now we are getting the categorical breakdown. Whatever that exists, it will show up. Total, and let's have the count here. Count length of the expenses, so we can get that as well. That information is also valuable. This code we don't need. Let's remove that. And what else can we add? Actually, you know what? We can add another kind of insight. We can get, find the biggest expense category. Right? Biggest category, and also the biggest amount. Cool. And then for cat name data, yeah, that's perfect. And report. So let's modify the structure. Current month, currency first, and let's go ahead and also add the current month. Right, current month, and then the biggest expense. So biggest category, biggest amount. Perfect, cool. Okay, so now let's see, forget expenses by category. Because separately now we need to retrieve from the categorical nodes, right? So let's modify this expenses list. Yeah, okay. You can have this as expenses, and then I am going to find the matching category node here as well. So once we have found the matching category, this I think needs to be edited. Um, Category node, okay. Cat.name, I think we need to change that. It's actually category type, if I remember correctly, the way we defined our nodes. Dot name, and then it's in upper, yeah, because that's how the enum values will be. Let me just quickly scroll up, just double check that. So yeah, category, it has an attribute category type, and then the expense category. So yeah, that is how you should get it. And okay, so we need to get all the expenses for a given category. So we need to calculate the sums of that. Okay, let me remove this part here. So if it's matching, get all expenses in this category, and then for yeah, expenses we are appending all of this. Yeah, break. Cool. I think that is all right. Yes, let's remove this. Let me clean it up a little. Report Let edit that part out. Yeah, category total expenses. We can maybe count, be more consistent. Let's count, and yeah, that below part also needs to be removed. Let's get rid of that. All of this. Yeah, this looks much better. So yeah, these are our walkers, and so we've defined 4 different walkers now. Our agents who will be traversing the graph, and we also defined the nodes beautifully on top. Nice. Right. Okay. Now let's start by adding some utility functions, some basic ones. So we need to have this get current data. That was the very first one we used. Let's edit this comment. That does not look that good. Get current date time. Yeah, that's okay. And we need to make our imports first before we actually return. So import date time, import date time from date time, and then return. Yes, perfect. Then I can add another utility function to get the current date. Okay, that's also done. Then get current month. Okay, yeah. So it's auto completing for us. Yeah, it looks good. Looks good. Okay, let's fix up the syntax errors now. There are a lot of errors, right? We need to make sure that we complete this chat file perfectly. So let's get started on that. Let's see. The first error is in line 174. Okay, there's a problem here. I think it's this cat, right? We are traversing to a node, so that cat shouldn't be there. Let's remove that. It's another error. Okay, same thing here. And okay, our utility functions are having a bit of trouble. Oh, I see. Okay, it's because we have defined it as can. We should make it a function definition. So let me change that as well, because this is actually outside of Walker. And I think our input syntax here is also incorrect. Let me just go up. Yeah, it should be in this format: input from, and then the library. So let me correct that as well. So yeah, Jack syntax is a bit different, right? We need to adhere to it correctly, and we need to remove the semicolon as well. Let me repeat that for the other 2 utility functions as well. Perfect. Okay, so looks like it's good to go. Save the file, and yeah. So that brings us to an end on this video, and let's just quickly recap on what we did. We defined our walkers, and we also defined some very basic utility functions. But that's not all. Next video, we will be defining much more advanced utility functions, like for currency conversion and more date time functions as well. And once that is completed, we will test the agentic system on the current phase. So yeah, thank you so much guys for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did like this video, please like, subscribe, and drop a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are, and your feedback is much appreciated. And if you have any doubts, or if you have any suggestions on how we can improve this expense tracker, please let me down in the comments below. So thank you guys, and goodbye for now.